I've never looked at the delicious gelatinous cube and thought, hey, I bet that tastes like a mint marshmallow with the texture of a gummy bear. I've never ever thought about how refreshing a cool gelatinous cube would be on a hot summer's day, and I've never... What happened? My stomach kinda hurts. Why am I sweating so much? Hi everyone, I'm Willowares, and today for our Big Bad Boss series, we'll be focusing on one of my favorite monster families, the oozes. The always a bridesmaid, never the big bad bride of the D&D world. Oozes, such as the delicious gelatinous cube, hold some of the highest iconic slots in D&D monsterdom. So why are they such a small selection of the D&D monster types? And why are they never really bosses? And how can we elevate our slimy brethren into something more memorable for the table? Oh, and hey, if you're a player, don't worry, I've got a special treat for you. So let's get into it. Oozes are usually, but not always, unintelligent or low intelligence beasties identified by their unifying trait. They're oozes. While lots of D&D creature types are bound by the plane they might originate from, oozes are united in their jelly belly, no skelly forms. Their non-rigid forms allow for splitting, squishing, and drowning. This is capped off by the amorphous trait, which just means that they can move through 1-inch cracks. So first up we have, of course, the gelatinous cube. Besides being one of my dream foundations of my dream food pyramid, the gelatinous cube is one of the more famous D&D creatures. It has a neat transparent ability that requires anyone to make a perception check to notice it for the first time. And its engulf ability is the famous swallow you whole action that's catapulted our gooey Minecraft cube to fame. It doesn't have the amorphous trait, but to be honest, it doesn't really need it, as it's balanced by its ability to move through monsters and players all the way up to large with ease. Amazing icon, but he's a CR rating of 2 for a reason. F- Big Bad. But hey, that doesn't mean I don't like him. He does a good job doing what he does. Next up we have Black Pudding, first voiced by Tim Curry and Fern Gully. Slime beneath me, slime up above. And packed with a ton of immunities, Black Puddings offer a fun challenge to newer parties. They also have the iconic ooze split ability, which does exactly what the name describes. Since it's immune to slashing damage, and that particular damage type can also trigger its split ability, and slashing damage is fairly common damage type, it's an enemy quite literally built for a newer party to communicate and learn together. Finally, a fun fact is that in England, Black Pudding actually looks like this. Wow, why'd you do that, England? Overall, unfortunately, an F boss. But not Hexus from Ferngully, of course, he's A+. Like if you agree if Hexus should be the D&D big bad of all time. Next up, we have Protein Polymorph. These guys are interesting because they can shapeshift into almost anything. Unfortunately, the last time we saw them was in 2nd edition, and honestly, since the Mimic has taken the mantle of resident inanimate object shapeshifter, there hasn't been a need to bring them back. However, what made the Protein Polymorph interesting was that it could morph into living creatures, something the Mimic cannot do. In my mind, the Protein Polymorph is closer to, say, the enemies in Prey, maybe a bit less intelligent. Hiding in plain sight is a pretty scary big boss ability, so perhaps a little dash of foreshadowing here, but overall still F boss. Okay, now we have the Jubilex. Oh god, I'm gonna say Jubilee. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna say Jubilee. I'm gonna say Jubilee at some point. Technically, Jubilex is a demon lord. Some might argue that removes him from the ooze family, which, okay, but we should talk about Jubilex anyways, because he's a great example of giving an ooze depth without stripping away what makes this monster type so distinct from the others. He lives in the slime pit in hell, surrounded by his slime brethren, or his favorite slimes, I guess maybe his preferred slimes that he got at the slime store. What I love about Jubilex is that he's a big bad ooze with a lot of intellect. According to the Forgotten Realms wiki, he is said to be, quote, one of the few beings that understood the true purpose of the abyss. Unquote. The dude is aware. He has his third eye open, y'all. That little flavor tidbit alone is enough to launch Jubilee. Not Jubilee. Jubilee isn't being launched out of hell. That little flavor tidbit alone is enough to launch him quite comfortably, in my opinion, to the A++ boss tier, but unfortunately that's kneecapped by the fact that he is a demon lord, so his stat block is left up in the air for the most part, and B, dude just really loves sitting in his petri dish and not really scheming too much. So he kind of falls down to like, I don't know, a C maybe? Like I'm sure he's strong enough to be A tier, but until he updates his LinkedIn with his official stats, that's where we're gonna put him. Okay, so let's do some quickfire here. We got the ochre jelly. These guys, they drop down from ceilings. That's mostly it. They're more of a trap monster, so another F- for the pile. We've got the gray pudding. Should try the gray stuff. It's delicious. They are rust monsters without the rust. Interestingly, they have a psychic variant, but both are still very weak, so still F-. Crystal ooze, that's just gray ooze in water, so I guess also F-. Next, we have the bloodfire ooze. That's just angry blood ooze that's so angry it's boiling, I guess, and it's just mad at its existence, so that's an F- as well. You're probably seeing a bit of a pattern here. Probably, oh, what's that? Oh yeah, baby, it's the Oblex. The Oblex. Not to be confused with the Ibex or the Oblevax. It's another ooze that is quite a bit more intelligent than its jello cousins. Like the Oblevax, the Oblex absorbs memories. Also, like the Oblevax, they can create clones of the people they have absorbed. They're beefier than the protein polymorph because its little slime mimics can perfectly imitate who they are mimicking. A neat fact about them is that they multiply in order to avoid going insane. That's right, when an Oblex has been sipping on too many brains, it must split in order to maintain its sanity. And that's metal. This guy has great potential to be a big bad, and also is usually a beefier ooze stat-wise, so maybe like B- boss with a lot of potential. Basically, you can see what I'm getting at here. Lots of Fs across the board because most oozes are very content with just being where they are and kind of snapping up passerbys, which makes them an amazing creature class to fill out your campaigns. There's always a little trick to oozes when you fight them, particularly because of their damage resistances and their split ability, so unlike a normal enemy when you can just hack away, oozes always give the party pause. And now, dear listeners, you have to say that 10 times fast in order to proceed throughout the video. Heck, even the main ooze guy, not Jubilex, is like that. They all come really close though, with a common desire for destruction. That is very big bad energy. Being content to just be a puddle that really, really hopes an adventurer steps in you so you can eat them, not so much. But I think just making our ooze big bad super intelligent is a really bad idea. Like, I think he should have intelligence, sure, but also still have that self-preservation primordialness that can almost be seen as lazy that all oozes seem to have. So how can we do that? The Borg are an antagonistic group from the TV show Star Trek that are the penultimate example of a hive mind. Hundreds and thousands of bodies that make up one unified mind. That is, until the Borg Queen and all the other stuff that happens in Trek. Trekkies, just give me a second. I'm sorry. Don't put your lasers on stun to me. I mean, at me. I'm just using Borg as a good example. We are Borg. You will be assimilated. It's a phrase that transcends the Trek fandom. See, the Oblex is a bunch of memories, if we want to get semantic. But they are unified in their purpose, like the Borg. Depending on your definition of what makes an entire consciousness, be it a smattering of memories or an entire body, you can still see the similarities. What I like about the Borg, that a lot of oozes don't have, is that their need to assimilate drives them to travel across the galaxy. Now, don't get me wrong, an ooze is always down to split, but the Borg split, like, they split a lot. Like, look at this cube. It's a big cube, and here's a bunch of them. They're busy. They have been busy bees. Next, we have Venom, the famous symbiote from Marvel Comics. Now, I don't really want to do a Venom timeshare mindshare thing because that's what we did for our other big bad we built together. Shout out to my girl, the Broodmoss. Basically, ignore what's going on internally with Venom. Like, ignore his mind palace. Don't look at Venom's diary, I guess. But hey, check out his aesthetics. When I think of how to deliver an ooze in a more unique, boss energy way, I think of Venom, the alien parasite, or any of the other symbiotes, really. I also think of Tom Hardy saying Eddie in a really funny way. Like, Eddie, Eddie. Venom has the amorphous ability. He can shapeshift like the Oblex, and according to Wikipedia, apparently he can change his coloration to kind of blend in with the environment, so in a way, he's also like the gelatinous cube, which is neat. But he's a monster. He's got a visual design and a presence that, while sometimes played as a big, hungry, kinda dumb dude, can also be a vicious hunter, using the abilities of his former hosts to bolster his kit to become the ultimate killing ooze. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in short, Venom is I'm gonna do it again. Venom's aura farming, and I still don't know what that means. I think that's what it means, so comment below and actually explain to me what aura farming means before they wheel me into the retirement home. So let's put what we've discussed into our recipe. The classic ooze need to split, we've got some tasty resistances, the ability to hide in plain sight, and a chewy texture somewhere between a gumdrop and a marshmallow. I'm sorry, I'm talking about eating it again. Sorry. No, let's get cooking. Welcome to Flavor Town. The lummonic ooze is rumored to be from a dark plane of existence, as it is known that the creature can subsist only off of moonlight. However, that is not its preferred diet. The luminous ooze desires one thing and one thing only, the inside of a skull. It propagates by splitting off and overtaking nearby sentient hosts, slowly hollowing them out from within as it grows. However, it is mostly impossible to tell when a luminous ooze has taken over a body, as the person's mannerisms and memories are absorbed by the ooze itself. A subtle tell is that those infected tend to stare at a light for a little bit too long. Some theorize that the ooze finds the human eye's light processing more efficient than its own, and are simply using it to eat more. Others think it's just hungry for flesh. Its name comes from the horrifying reaction that happens when the ooze makes no effort to conceal itself within a host. The host's eyes and mouth will glow with an eerie pale light. It can be when it is relaxed and asleep, or agitated and hungry. Travelers tell of carefully traversing fields when a luminous ooze has ripped through a town, weaving between bodies, gently swaying where they stand, glowing eyes and mouth agape at the stars. Perhaps it is looking towards its home, but none have ever confirmed this. In the event a luminous ooze attempts to propagate without success, the clump will prioritize shelter over a new mind to inhabit. Because it is not housed within a larger self or within a beneficial mind, the original ooze will cut off from the hive mind. If one is careful, they can house a luminous ooze in a container. Usually a lantern is preferred, as it allows the ooze to observe its surroundings and feed off of light. It will repeatedly attempt to escape and consume the nearest life form, but also aid in providing insight to the party as to ensure its survival. And now, a little story to illustrate what I mean. Here is the account of Lightkeeper Nova from the Amber Prison before her inevitable immurement. You've made a big mistake. I don't know what you're talking about. I had nothing to do with those shipwrecks, and I certainly don't know where the crews are. I'm just a lightkeeper. Please, you have to believe me, please? Fine. 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 I see you're scared of me. I can see it in your eyes. So many souls pass under the lighthouse, all trusting that great beam of light. I was just a little hungry, you see, so I turned off the light. And they answered, wandering into my arms. I'm already beyond here, this prison. I'm 100 miles away. I'm just 2 days' journey east as well, and I'm right down the road. You can see just one face here, but there are so many. You worship the stars and the sun and the moon and trusted one more light. But in reality, you were worshiping me. Here ends the account. We did it! And here's the lummonic ooze art and stat block for free. And for my patrons, I've included the Murmuring Lantern Familiar. Just make sure to clean the housing once in a while. As a fellow lantern dweller, believe me, you do not want to let that shit go. Oh, and if you want more videos, I've got some at the end that you can click for free. So like and subscribe if you too want to try the gray stuff just like me. I'm gonna go chew on a 90s GameCube or something. 90s GameCube? Why did I write 90s GameCube? Anyways, I'll see you the week after next. Goodbye! Oh, also, I'm gonna be at Gen Con. You're not gonna know who I am, because I don't have a face to use. But I'll see you. I'll see you at Gen Con, whether you see me or not. I don't know, like, maybe somebody can just go like, Willowwares really loudly, and then maybe I'll hear you, and I'll answer, and I'll be like, yeah, that's me! Maybe. Anyways, goodbye.